27 turn right, heading 185, reduce speed 180 knots.
185 on the heading, 180 on the seatbelt there, 007.
Speedbird 124, reduce speed 160 knots to 40 ME.
Reduce 160 to 4, speed 124.
Good old coffee. Hello guys, and welcome back to part number 2 of the Innsbruck flight from Manchester. We are currently in the cruise at level 350, approaching a waypoint called LOWI, which is just inside of Munich's airspace. According to the ND, we're about 40-ish, 45 miles away from top of descent. So I figured we would run through some of the arrival stuff, as it's pretty important. Okay, so let's have a look at the charts. So here's the charts, and coming in through Madeb, which is this point over here, at or above 13,000, that's what the underline means. If it's over the top of the altitude, then it's at or below, and then if it's just an altitude, it's a dead set figure. So Madeb 1 Bravo arrival, which routes Madeb, then Elmem. Now we have two options. From Elmem, if you care to pronounce it right, Matt, that would be great. We can either fly the RNAV arrival, which I'll show you the chart here, which is RNAV Zulu, and that starts at Elmen and routes down to all of the RNAV points and eventually lands on runway 08. It's kind of a bit boring though. There's a bit of meandering through the valley, but nothing too exciting. Or what we can do is we can fly the Rattenberg 1 Bravo arrival, which will take us all the way across to Rattenberg, which is on the eastern side of Innsbruck, and then we can fly the localizer DME East approach into runway 26, but break off and land on runway 08, which is, I think, probably the best way to do this. So we'll come in from this way, and then from Rattenberg we'll leave on a heading of 210, and at 21 miles we will intercept the localizer for runway 26. Now from the localizer for runway 26, so localizer DM East approach, if we open up this chart here, this is the procedure, this is the visual procedure. So we fly down to 4.2 miles from Oscar Echo Victor, which is the localizer DME for runway 26, and then we break off heading 230, minimum altitude of 3,700 feet, just passing north of the Innsbruck NDB, spin it right heading 264, and it says here visual cue church axioms for start of right base, which is you can actually see it on the scenery. They've modelled that. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to fly down until 4.2 miles from Oscar Echo Victor, break off left, fly the racetrack, land, and we're good. Minimum's 3,700 feet for the visual, which is correct. We don't need to really worry about anything else. Transition altitude is ATC, transition level is ATC. The FMS will have some sort of idea of what we need for that, so we'll let it decide. And that's really all we need to know. Because the FSLabs has modelled procedures like this so well, we can just leave it in manage mode all the way down, and we don't really need to touch it. We'll aim for Oscar Echo Victor 4.5 at, doesn't actually say the altitude, does it? But MDA, so 3,700 feet. Very much a visual approach once you start into the valley, and again the scenery is so well done that that you can kind of just eyeball it all the way down. It's a really clear day as well at Innsbruck, and I'll show you how we get the weather in the sim using the awesome data link feature that FSLabs has implemented. So actually I want a drink. I've got a coffee. It's very informal, this flight, but I fancy making a coffee, and I've got this really nice coffee machine. So I'm drinking some coffee. So if you go to MCDU menu at the top, you see ATSU. You can click on that, and then from ATSU you can, if you click on ATC menu and then go to page 2, if you're flying on VATSIM and there's ATC online, you can send for the local ATIS. We're not on VATSIM, so it doesn't really matter. If you go to AOC menu, however, you can get a weather request, and if we just type in Innsbruck, LOWI, like so, and then we'll send that request. If we go back to receive messages, and also if we look on the upper ECAM, you can see it says company message here. We then just head down and you'll see it says AGM LOWI. Click that, and here's the METAR. So surface wind 080 degrees at 4 knots, pressure is 1021. No sig. Clouds are at scattered at 3,000, broken at 6,500. It's temperatures all the 9. Visibility's all the 9s, even temperatures 11. So again, no need for anti-ice. So if we go to the perf page, even next page until we reach the approach page, which is here, we'll stick the pressure in, which is 1021. Temperature is 11. The wind is 080 at 4. And transition, it's already calculated as flight level 100, we'll leave it there. And the MDA is 3,700 feet for us, so we'll stick that in MDA. So that's all set to go. It's currently programmed RNAV Yankee, but we're going to change that. So arrival into runway 26, so we're going to go for the localizer runway 26, and then we are going to go via Rattenberg 1 Bravo and insert that. Let me just see if there's a transition. Yeah, through Rattenberg, like that. And then you can see from Madeb, we are basically just going direct to Rattenberg. And if I just quickly look back at the chart, it goes Madeb, then El-Mem. So let's just fix that. So after Madeb, El-Mem, like so. And we'll just stick that there. And then we can close the gap between El-Mem and Rattenberg. And then that's all good. And then from Rattenberg, you've got the localizer there. And if we look on the, actually we'll have to do it on this side. We look on the plan. If we switch it to plan, you can see that this is the way we're coming in. So we're going to be coming from the west to east, Rattenberg onto the localizer, and then at 4.2 miles from Oscar Echo Victor. Just didn't mean to do that. And we're going to spin off left and fly the visual. So that's simple. Everything is set. We're using full flap VAP 143. Surface wind, we don't really need to add any onto that, so I'm happy with 143. So that will keep us all the way down to Innsbruck. See, we're just coming over the border between Munich and Austria, or München and Wien radar. The breaker is just a little bit further on from here. So everything is good to go. We'll just enjoy the last few moments of the cruise, and then we will be on our way down to Innsbruck. Okay, so we are fast approaching Rattenberg with 18 miles to run. Just about to go into the clouds, to the soup as they call it. A couple of things I missed out from before. I need to put the auto brake onto low. And the runway at Innsbruck isn't really that small. I mean, it is compared to other airports. 2,000 meters, 45 meters wide. Auto brake low as long as I... Actually, nah. Auto brake medium, okay. You've convinced me, even though you've said nothing. Yeah, everything looks good. Everything is planned. You can actually see Innsbruck down there, just on the right. But really, that's about it. 14 miles to go to Rattenberg. So the way this should work is that over Rattenberg, we really need to be at a reasonable speed. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to activate the approach phase now, which seems to be awfully early, but there is a reason. It will then start to slow the aircraft down, which is what you want. We'll put the landing system on, so we can see what's what. We'll also set to the pressure, which is 1021, so we'll throw that in. 1021, also we'll put the standby to 1021. If I can see it, 1021, like so, and then we're good. This approach will happen faster than you think. So I'm going to put some speed brake out. Help it on its way. Look at those mountains. Fantastic. We can, if you look at the flap safety placard over here, you can see that we can put flap 1 down at 230 knots, which I will be doing. The problem is when you're using the speed brake in the Airbus, the autopilot safety speed, or the safety speed even on the PFD, is very, it comes up a lot, doesn't like it. But there is 230 knots, so we can go with flap 1 now, and we will do just that. We're still a little bit high, but the restriction isn't 9,500 over Rattenberg, it's on the localizer to be 9,500, so as long as we do that, we'll be okay. As long as you keep referencing as well the localizer, then you'll be fine. So it starts at 9,500, and the descent point on the localizer down from 9,500 on a 3.77 degree glide is at 19 miles from Oscar Echo Victor. So once we make this right hand turn, you will see that our DME will then be more accurate towards where we're going, because at the moment we're flying away from Oscar Echo Victor, so it would make very little sense to panic at this moment. Speed brakes out again. You'll see that we're keeping about 190-ish knots. Decent-ish rate of descent. We'll make this just fine. So we'll start the right-hand turn, and in the turn we'll also put some lights on so we don't forget. So just the landing lights on. We don't need the runway turn-offs, it's the daytime, so it's all good. Landing lights produce drag as well, which is pretty interesting because they retract down from underneath the wing. You get about an extra 30 feet a minute, which is pretty cool considering their landing lights. Now, I'm going to swap over. I'm going to put terrain on this side, and then weather can go on that side, because we really need to see the terrain, especially with this valley. So speed brakes are in. They're also armed, but we can disarm them for now, just in case we need to use them again. Speed is good. We're going to go down the glide with flap 2, and the flap 2 safety speed is 200 knots, so we are good to do that. So 4 miles to go until the localizer, so we're going to go flap 2 now, and that will bring the speed further down. And that's happening very nicely now. So we're going to set minimums, which is 3,700 feet. The MDA, which is 37. and then we'll push it in, and that'll give us descent in blue, which is what we want, and then that will start to descend once we turn right. We can leave this in manage mode. You don't have to press localize or approach or anything like that. Just leave it in manage mode all the way down. It's completely fine. We'll pull the speed at 160. We don't want to go down the glide too slow because we'll be here all day, but 160 is good. Okay, so just about to start the right turn now. Look at that for a view. That is a solid view. Can't really see much off the left wing. So 20 miles to go. Descent in 1 minute. Sorry, 1 mile, not 1 minute. Can't see anything at the moment because of the clouds, but they will clear up. They will clear up. We can go into the approach page now, so we can see what we're doing. As far as landing speeds go, you can see the glides coming down now, and that's going to align perfectly with our next point, which is 19 miles to run. See 19.2, 19.1, and then 19. Descent is green, and we will now start to descend on the profile. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. Everything is run off Oscar Echo Victor, so it's all good. And then the break off from Oscar Echo Victor for the visual is 4.2 miles. So we just fly this like we would fly any other ILS. We keep the autopilot in, let it do its thing. And then once we get a bit further down the way, maybe sort of, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 miles to run, then we'll put the gear down, then we'll get configured, and then once we come off to the left of 4.2 miles to run, then we will forgot what I was saying. Yep, it's completely gone off what I was saying. Something about, oh yeah, then we'll be fully configured, of course, that's the term, what I was looking to say. Brain went blank. Missed approach altitude is, I think, 9,500. Yeah, 9,500. So that's all set. We could actually now. Nah, I'm not going to do that. We'll keep it in. We'll keep it in autopilot. This is perfect. See the scenery up ahead there. Looking good. 13 miles to run, or just over. See some mountains on the left of us. How nice does that look? That is superb. That is seriously superb. See some scenery below us. Very nice. This is not part of the Innsbruck scenery just yet. The Innsbruck scenery starts just a little bit further up. $12 miles to run. Actually just move the camera forward and you can see it all load in. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I'm using PTA. The graphics look a bit non-default. So I'm using something called the P3D tweaking assistant with a preset that Mr. Mead made for me. It's very, very nice. I'm a non-believer of all of these like reshade things that modify like DLLs in the sim, but PTA doesn't. It just modifies the shaders, which is most welcome for me, and this is why the sim looks like this. I think it looks really nice. Others may disagree, but I do not. Bit of turbulence coming down. Look at that. Wow, wonder how the ailerons are handling that. Doing well, doing well. Nice. You're always going to get some sort of turbulence when you're descending into valleys. It's never fun. 9 miles to go. A little bit higher profile, but it's fine. We're flying the visual, so I wouldn't really worry about it too much. Once we get below this cloud here anyway, we'll be able to see everything. We're kind of going to fork off to the left down that way towards the mountain and then fly against the mountain. But this turbulence is pretty awesome. Alright, so there's 8 miles to go. There's Innsbruck dead ahead of us, 12 o'clock. So we're going to push it in, we're going to go gear down, config 3. We're going to arm the speed brake, like so, it's already done. And once 3's down, we're going to go conf full. And this is 6.5 miles to go, so I'm going to bring the autopilot out. Time to do a bit of manual flying. Let me sit back in my chair. Trimmed quite nicely. I'm going to set the missed approach altitude, which is 9,500, like so. Actually, I didn't want to do that. We'll just keep it like that. That's good for now. So we're looking for 4.2 from Oscar Echo Victor, which we can see the DME on the bottom left of the PFD. So here. So this is 4.5, 4.4, 4.3. Not quite yet, 4.2. And here's the left-hand turn. I'm going to swing it left to heading 230, like so. Head across to this bit of mountain here. Now we can descend as low as 3,700 feet, and we can take our time doing that. People often tend to rush that descent all the way down and then they find themselves level for a long period of time. That doesn't need to happen. As long as we are at 3,700 feet before we make that turn at the end, then we're fine. See, the flaps are full config. On the right you can see the engine, and then Innsbruck is down there. Look at the scenery though. Look at the train yard down there. Beautiful. Probably shouldn't be showing you scenery whilst I'm trying to fly a plane.
2,000.
Looking good though. And then the turn inbound back to runway 08 is at 3.5 from Oscar Echo Victor on the other side. And we're looking for that church, remember, Church Axums is the name of it. So we can see the right hand side where the airport is, which is just there, which is nice. 3,700 feet is approaching, so we'll just pitch up, make sure we don't go below that. The auto thrust in the FSLabs is actually pretty good. It's probably one of the best auto thrust systems I've seen. PMDG don't do the auto thrust very well at all. I'd love to try and do this in like the 777 or something. It wouldn't work very well. So now we can turn it right, we can hug the mountainside, and we're looking for a heading of about 264. Managed to climb a little bit there when I did that, but that's okay. So swinging past 255, 260, and then we'll roll it to about there. That's about 264. Looking for this church. The church is on the right hand side, so let's see if we can see it. You know, before I said it's modeled on the scenery, I really hope it is. I said that. I'd imagine it is. It would be really weird if it's not, because they say start your base turn at said church. There it is. There's the church. Wait, no, is it? Is that the church? No, it's not the church. Okay, I don't know where the church is. What's the DME? 2.4, 2.5. Minimum has just been called, which is fine. Trying to find this church. Is it anywhere? No, I can't see it. I can't see it. Oh well, we'll just run off the DME. So it's 3.5, which is very soon. So 3.2. You can see the gap actually if you look to the right. You can see now it's just down there. So we're going to follow it round here, all the way round. I'm going to fly into this valley, like so. Got to give it quite a steep turn, otherwise you'll overshoot. There we go. That's good. Losing altitude pretty nicely. Very good. Should be able to see a road on the other side, or a train track, I think it is. Yep, easy. Round we go. Keep the turn going.
Speed, speed, speed.
Say about the auto thrust. Beautiful. Okay, good. 2 reds. Nah, maybe not. 3 reds, 1 white. It'll fix itself in a couple of seconds. Excellent. And now the hard part is done. We just have to land, which is relatively straightforward. I don't know why that church wasn't modelled. Maybe I'm going crazy. I thought it was, but never mind. Okay.
500.
500 feet. Remember, the minimums have already been called. It was 3,700 feet, so you won't hear anything like that. It's just a case of landing now.
300.
Flare logic in the Airbus will kick in at about 50 feet.
200.
We'll try and force the nose forward so you kind of pull it back.
100. 50. 40. 30.
Power
20.
idle.
Retard. 10.
Flare.
5.
And down we go. Idle reverse. Decel. Reverse green. Keep it straight if I can. There's 60 knots. Stow the reverses. And we'll make it off via taxiway Bravo. Some nice braking action there. Enable the tiller, don't forget to do that. There we go, slowed right down. And I'm not quite sure about APU restrictions from using reverse thrust, I can't actually remember, but all I know is the stand is very close. Therefore I need the APU rather quickly. Spoilers coming in, flaps coming in, everything else coming in. Let's wait for the flap open, which it's just done. We'll vacate to the right here. And then we will park wherever we can find a space, I guess. Strobe lights off, taxi lights off for a little bit, but not too much. Let's see whether we can get a gate from GSX. Go for gate 6. We do not want to follow me, but we will take a marshal up. There's gate 6 there, between the Austrian Fokker and the Thompson 757. Turn the terrain off, predicted wind shear off, and the weather radar, and the transponder. Turn to the right here. Look at that for a view. Holy crap. That is stunning. That is absolutely stunning. Should have stopped the clock as well. My bad. Right, so pulling into this gate on the left. We can turn off the... we don't even need the bleed on. Turn off the taxi lights. Left hand lock all the way around. Follow the marshal's instructions. There we go. There we go. It's got some numbers above his head. I need to find out how to turn those off because they're pretty unrealistic. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. Beautiful. We'll set the parking brake. And we will turn off engine 2 and engine 1. We'll stop the elapsed time. Beacon light off. Seatbelt sign off. MCD menu. Let's just request deboarding. Options, external controls, ground chocks connect. And we will open up the doors for everybody so they can get off. And we'll turn off the fuel pumps. And there we go. Welcome to probably the best flight sim scenery that I have ever owned, which is ORBX England by Jared Marshall. Absolute masterpiece. Okay, the approach could have been a little bit better. I'm still a little bit sad that I can't find that church, but I bet you it's there. I probably just couldn't see it. But good flight. Absolutely awesome flight. I did say I would bring these back, these full flights back on an infrequent basis. If you'd like to see more of them, if there is enough demand, and I actually do mean this, if there's enough demand for them, then I will do them a little bit more frequently. I kind of judge videos, and I'm not one of these like and dislike whores and view whores, but I really do judge videos' popularity, or the video's popularity, on how many likes it gets and stuff like that. So if you liked it, then please let me know by either just making a comment or liking the video if you feel up to it. And of course, if there's enough demand, then I will absolutely do some more of these. But hope you enjoyed the kind of in-depth look at how I do things. And this is pretty much how I do all my flights, so everything you see on YouTube is done this way. However, it is time for me now to go. I have cotton mouth because I've been talking for so long and my mouth is dry, so that's not fun. But thank you very much for your support. Thank you very much for sticking with me. And from myself, this beautiful Monarch A320 and an incredibly sexy Innsbruck. Until the next video, I bid you all farewell. Bye-bye.